Welcome back, ladies. How's everyone today?
I'm doing well, Lisa.
Here we go. Here we go. We ain't even out the gate yet.
We're not. Terry, I like that. I like that voice, Terry. What we doing?
I'm using my love voice.
Ooh. Wow. So since you mentioned that, in this episode, we're going to talk about love.
Boop, boop, boop.
Boom, shika, boom, boom.
Lord have mercy.
Sorry.
Sakafet, you're listening to Unfiltered Limin with BLT. Every week, we will reflect on our journeys on trying to navigate between our parents' traditional culture versus American culture. We are your hosts,
Bertide,
Lisa,
and Terry.
No one's talking, so let's get unfiltered. Previously, each of us have taken the love language quiz. And in that quiz, we discuss about results. Our results are as follows.
Do you guys know your love language?
Yes.
What is your love language? Let's say what we thought your love language is before you say. So for Lisa, if you go first, I thought your love language is words of affirmation. Is your number one?
No, my number one was quality time.
Oh, really?
And then words of affirmation.
For Terry, what did I say with Terry? I said receiving gifts or physical touch. I feel like that's equal for you. What's your love language, Terry?
Acts of service.
Okay, Lisa guessed that one.
Yes, acts of service.
All right. And then mine is quality time.
Wow.
33% quality time.
Yeah,
What was your number two?
Number two for me was a tie between physical touch and words of affirmation.
Oh, wow. So now, ladies, we're going to talk about breaking down a little bit more about the results from our love quiz. We're also going to talk about how do we love? How do we love in relationships? How do we love as a parent? Love our siblings, family, friends, and significant others.
Are we ready for this?
I don't know.
The question is, are they ready for us? Yes. Wow. Are y'all ready to love?
Do we carry the love bricks? Or how do we carry love bricks?
That's a great question.
Lisa, you laying it down today, honey.
Laying it down. So unfiltered. We're going to make it.
I don't know how we're going to get through this episode, but we're going to get through it. So, all right, ladies. So, B, let's start with you. How do you love? Slow?
Okay, so.
Or fast?
Can I be in a little bit of both? You know, there's time when you need to be slow, and there's time when you need to be fast.
Clearly, this episode is for all the lovers out there.
But so my results I mentioned was I'm quality time, right? I'm about 33%. So there's the different there's 5 love languages, right? From the quiz, if people don't know, quality time is my love language. And to me, what that means is people could be busy doing a lot of things. So if the way that someone shows me, and it doesn't have to be romantic, it could be, you know, time I spend with my family, time I spend with my child, time I spend, if you're giving me like that undivided quality time, then I feel like I'm appreciated because you're making a choice, right? To disconnect from everything and spending just that time. And it doesn't have to be a long time. It could be just a little bit, but it's just that time that's just doing whatever. It doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be, you know, it could just be like we're just sitting watching a movie or we're walking and having a conversation. So that quality time is the way that that's the best way for someone to show me love.
So give us a breakdown, because I know with the 5 love languages, it gives you a breakdown of quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, receiving gifts.
from the book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And this is from his perspective and the research that he's done over time. And what he describes quality time is basically undivided attention. Being there for this type of person is critical, and really being there. So sometimes you can give people quality time, but you're not there. You're thinking about so many things. So it's basically like you physically, emotionally, all of you has to be present for it to count as quality time. So you can't be there sitting next to me, but you're on your laptop doing work. Look at here. I'm just going to be like, bye, see you later. I don't want, that's not the type of quality time, love. You know what I mean? That you're showing. So it has to be undivided, and it has to be like, we're connecting, you're there, you're present. You know what I mean? Because I think in this day and age, a lot of times people say, oh, I spent quality time with you, but they were on their phone. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, or they were just doing a bunch of different things. So that is what that is. You know what I'm saying? So you're putting down the fork. You're just no distraction. You're postponing activities. You're just there. And that's what kind of like the breakdown. And I'm paraphrasing, what the definition is. But yep.
And what's your percentage for acts of service? Did you say that?
I did not. So my percentage for acts of service, so I'll go in order. So quality time, I have 33%, right? And then I'm actually equally divided, 17% for physical touch. I'm sorry, physical touch. I need y'all to get that. Physical touch.
I love it.
Physical touch and words of affirmation. And then receiving gifts is 10%. And I'm sorry, I don't have the percentage for that one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, how do I love?
Oh, sorry, 23% acts of service. Sorry, that's my second one. Sorry, Lisa.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm done.
So as for me, as far as how do I love, I feel like that's a loaded brick.
You mean a real heavy brick.
Mm-hmm. It's a real heavy brick.
Start with your results and maybe go from there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my results, I am actually 30% quality time, 27% words of affirmation, 23% acts of service, 10% physical touch, and 10% receiving gifts.
Okay.
I like to beg to differ on that receiving gifts, but it's okay. Anyway. I think that percentage should be a higher percentage, but I'll let that one slide. But
why do you think that is, though? That you brought up a good point. Why do you feel that way? Because that's part of your love. Like, if you feel it should be higher, why is that?
I mean, who doesn't like getting gifts?
But would you say that's your love? Like your
No,
love?
Okay. So my love language is quality time and words of affirmation. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I love spending quality time, whether it's significant other, my family, my friends. When I'm with you, I'm with you. Mm-hmm. Like your time, I believe your time is your time. Words of affirmation, for me, that's important as well too, because I also want to hear from you, like the importance, like how you feel. And it doesn't necessarily have to just be like, oh, I love you. Yeah, that's important too. But just how do you feel? Like, you're important to me too. Hey, you can do it,
Right. You can do it.
You can do it.
I'm sorry.
And then the other thing too that's important, acts of service. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's also too kind of ties a little bit, for me, my opinion, quality time. Because if you're in a situation or if you're in a bind, someone's coming to help you out, that's acts of service. But then also time in that, it's quality time also too, because you guys are working on something together.
Right.
So...
I think that your percentage is accurate because, although gifts are great, would you rather they always give you this wonderful gift, but they're never there?
No, I prefer them there. than the
There
gifts.
you go. So this is
Yeah.
why your percentage is on point with, how you love. So like I said, we sit down and we talk about how, something, a gift would be nice. Yes, it would be. But if they weren't spending time or being there, that would be a huge issue altogether. So
yeah, you're right. The quality time is important. And then also too, again, anybody who knows, as far as my family, my friends, and also significant others also too, I'm full. As far as carrying the bricks of love, I think it should be very painless. It should be easy. It should feel good. Love shouldn't, there are the different facets of love, but it shouldn't be a consistent pain all the time. That's not love. Something you look forward to, enjoyable, feels good.
feels real good.
I knew it's coming.
Oh, shoot.
But let me ask you this, Lisa, and I'm just gonna, and sorry, Terry, before you go
That's
to
okay.
you,
Go
but
ahead.
okay, I get that love should be painless, right? But at the same time, are we misguided in that notion that it should be painless? Only because feeling good and being easy, a lot of times people don't put in the work, because love is an action word, right? So with that action word, sometimes when you're putting in action, it's not always easy, because you are bringing different personalities and learning. Until we took the quiz, maybe some people don't know what their love language is. They don't know how to work that love aspect. So only because you mentioned that. So I'm just asking.
Okay, so let me clarify. Okay, when I say that it shouldn't hurt and it's painless and it's easy, what I mean is I'm going to use significant other as an example, being in a relationship. When I say painful, I'm referring to the fact that someone who's constantly begging and pining for someone's attention, for their love, it's not reciprocated. You're chasing the man down, you're blowing up his phone, you're hiding in his bushes.
Or the woman.
Or the woman, yes, correct. That's not love. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's hurting the person, constantly hurting them, constantly disappointing them. That's not love.
Thank you.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry I didn't clarify, but that's what I mean, that it's painless and it's easy. It's like two people, they genuinely look forward to seeing each other. They genuinely look forward and enjoy spending time with one another. They look forward to the next time, or they can't wait to see each other the next time. Or that's what I mean by it's easy, it flows, it's enjoyable. Nah. For those out there, if you're hiding in the bushes, if you're chasing people down,
you're slashing up tires,
blowing up phones, trolling on IG or trolling on the internet, that's not love. No.
Talk about it. Yep.
Just saying.
Okay.
All right.
Let me take the baton and run with it, for lack of a better words here. Everybody's idea of love is different. Lisa, that is your perspective. And you feel if you have to do all of those things, that is not love. However, there are people out there that if you not running me down, you don't love me. If you not dragging me out by my hair at the club, you don't love me. There are people out there that feel that, well, he came in there and he made this big scene because I was up in some guy's face. That's not love. You see what I'm saying? So all these different things, everybody's perspective of love is different. It goes back to what they saw. Okay. What did you see from your parents? And sometimes what you saw from your parents, you may either follow that pattern or you want something different because you're saying that ain't right.
So would that be a brick that they picked up and carried?
That's definitely a brick that they're carrying. And sometimes the funny thing about the brick, sometimes you don't even know you're carrying it. You don't even know you're carrying it. It's in the knapsack there and you walking with it and you had it so long that you don't even know you have it. Well, I'm preaching now.
Hey. Somebody shout, amen, hallelujah.
Amen, hallelujah.
Love it.
For
So
me,
talk about your result, Terry, since you bring that
my
up, and
result.
yeah.
Okay, so my results right now, I was 37% acts of service, 23% words of affirmation,
Acts of service.
17% quality time, 17% physical touch, and 7% receiving gifts. My 37% acts of service speaks to I have never had somebody show up for me. And when I say that, let me speak specifically. When I need you to be there and to support me, I have not felt that. Or maybe my thought process of what it is and that person's perspective of what it is was two different things. So that's why I didn't feel that I had it. And maybe they felt like I gave it, but to me, that wasn't it.
Are you talking about significant other, family, or in general?
I'm talking about across the board.
Oh.
So I don't want to just to put it on a significant other, like a man that a relationship that I was dealing with, or I don't want to put it on just a family member. For me, it is across the board.
Wow.
Yes. So I can count on my one hand, which is very small, people.
A small hand?
A small hand, but it does work. Something. I digress. Because you see, I'm picking up Lisa foolishness here.
You fell into that one.
Yes, you did.
So I can count on my one hand who has honestly stepped up to the plate and when they stepped up to the plate. But other than that, for the majority of the time, no.
So let me ask you this. When did you realize, and I don't mean to cut you off because I don't want to miss that, because I think what you're saying, so many women, Black women, I've experienced it, we experienced that. So we're going to stay there because I feel like whatever you're saying right now is going to help so many people, because I think as Black women, when it comes to love and what you're saying of people not being there for us, I think a lot of people, it will resonate with a lot of people. So I don't want to rush it because I think it will bring healing to people, a lot of women. But when did you realize that love was not being reciprocated to you? Because I think, again, goes back to what you just said, the bricks, right? So when did you realize that brick was there?
When I was honest in my truth of who I am and what I needed. Because a lot of times you don't know what you don't know. Sometimes you're going around and spinning in this circle and you just going around and around and you don't even know what is what or why you're going around in this circle. But when you stop and you are honest, and my cousin brought it up, when you have to really look at yourself, and a lot of times we do not like what we see or we don't want to look. When you get to that point that you are honest with yourself, you can be able to say, as a Trinidadian would say, but wait, something, this is not right. And I also have to take onus on that, because the question is, if I want it, I also have to give it. Have I been giving it? Have I been doing it? Okay?
That's huge.
So with that, I had to become better in giving it and doing it without looking for something in return. Well, something. Well, the other day I rubbed your back. Why you can't rub my back? Okay. But if you're going to do it, you have to give it, wholeheartedly without
unconditional.
Exactly. So I had to learn that, because what I was doing in the past wasn't working for me on so many levels. So, and this is a reason why for a long time I have just been unsuccessful in relationships and single. But when I started to become honest in my truth, I started to develop different type of relationships that are more honest, that would gain more love and honesty between both parties. And it's not just the shucking and the jiving type of situation. And I have to say that I do go through ups and downs. So, for me to tell you that how everything is perfect, I'll be lying. But it is more palatable, I could be able to say, okay, you know something, it's okay. It's not that bad. You
Right.
know?
It's like you're putting in, I think it's something that we always say, you're putting in the work. It goes back to
There you go.
people feel like you meet somebody, right? You meet somebody, and I'm just going to speak on the significant other before we move to parents. You meet somebody and you think, oh my gosh, you say, I love you, and there's no work that needs to be done with that. Right. And the thing is, you do need to put in, I think if people don't hear nothing else, if you don't hear nothing else from this, put in the work into whatever love you have in your mind of what it should be, what it should look like, feel like, be like, move like, flow like, and make sure the person, like Lisa said, that you're with gives that to you the way you think, like communicate that. It goes back to, do we really know what love is? Do you know what to ask for in love? Do you know, again, your love language to tell somebody like, yo, you know, it's quality time. So guess what? I know you busy, you running this, you doing that, but I'm gonna need you to put some time out for me because quality time. So if you don't give that to me at least, you know, 2 times a week or however many times, then we're gonna have an issue. It's not gonna be the best relationship. And if you can't give that to me, that's fine. I may like you, but you're already going in knowing that that's your highest percentage. So if that person cannot give that to you, guess what? Make the tough decision and be like, you know what? You've already said you can't give that to me. That is mine. We're gonna already have conflict. Don't move forward, people.
Yes.
Do not move forward.
Preach. And I can't stand, you know what I can't stand is that when you do be upfront with people and tell them exactly where you are, what you will and will not deal with up front, because you could already foresee it. And I can't stand when they try to change your mind and persuade. Why are you trying to change my mind and persuade me? I'm telling you what it is. So if you try to change our mind and persuade me, and you want to try to force feed a relationship, yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be beef every day. We're gonna be fighting. So I'm just gonna tell you right now, we're gonna be fighting every day. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And even if you tell me like, oh yeah, just give it a try. Okay, well, let's go. Let's put the boxing gloves on now, because we're gonna fight every day. So let's just get it out the way right now.
Because you know yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Because you know
yourself.
Yeah,
I
you know. And the thing is, and it goes back to, you can't change somebody. Like the thing about it is, like Terry, you said, like, until you're honest with yourself. So one, you have to be honest with yourself, right? So honesty is the best policy with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror, do your work, and communicate that. So the thing is, there will be people out there that feel like, oh, you're a good thing, we can make it work, like give it a chance. And you knowing yourself, like you said, Lisa, it's like, all right, okay, because at the end of the day, I already know it's not going to end up well, but I'm going to prove you right. Or I'm going to prove you wrong. So let's go, because you can't change people. And it goes back to love. I feel like, because one of my friends,
you're going to hate me in the end, I promise you. You're going to hate me.
Yeah, but one of my friends says it like this. Do we really know love? No. It's why? Because of the fact that we look at what Hallmark television.
Oh, God.
And, February, Valentine's Day, like all these love stories you see in the movie that talk about, oh, you boy meet girl. You understand what I'm saying? They go through dinner, all of this. They have real good sex or something, and then they get married at the end and they live happily ever after. Disney movie. That's a bunch of shenanigans, hogwash, whatever y'all want to call it on this show. It's not real. So we go through this life thinking like, oh, that's what I'm looking for. And it's like, ain't no Prince Charming coming on a white horse to save you behind. Like, no. So I feel like in that aspect, we don't know love. Let's segue into our parents. They don't talk about, I'm going to take heat for this, but it's all right. It's okay. I feel like I don't know love from a parent's point of view because of the fact that it was never displayed. It was never talked about. It was never said. So yes, as far as the action of my mom working hard and my dad working hard, yes, they love me in providing, because there's different levels of love, right?
Correct.
Emotionally and spiritually, nah. That was not there.
That
And
is correct. I agree.
in the Caribbean island, they don't say it to their kids. It's just like, oh well, I put a roof over your head and I'm providing for you. I'm giving you this. So they feel like that's what love is. And maybe I'm wrong. You ladies could go ahead and take the floor. I'm done with it.
I would have to say my mother is a product of that. I'm going to piggyback on that because she would not say, I love you. I think, you know something, I'm not saying she does not love me, because I want to be clear on this, just in case, you know, she listening or anybody go back. I know that my mother loves me. That is, she has shown me that. But in talking about tapping into that emotional side or that spiritual side, where a hug, or you know something, you doing a great job, or you know something, I just, you know, I love you, you all right, that part, that is not who she is, and that's not how she does. My father, here's a twist. My father would say it. He would say, like at the end of the phone call, you know something, love you. But I think that he says it to say it, but he doesn't have anything that goes with it. So it's just that. So he doesn't have anything to back it up. So not to say that he doesn't love me. That is his way. And that's what he knows. But when I talk to other people in the family on both sides, I find out what their parents did. And that's how I realize how they came to and why they do and say what they do. So that gave me a better understanding. And that's why I wanted to do better, and I make the difference with my child and how I love with her and how I show her.
So being that you said that, I feel like my parents' love language it'd be acts of service and receiving gifts.
Me too.
Because they're providing for you a roof over your head. So for both my parents, it's acts of service and receiving gifts. Now, I will say my mom, I was a grown adult before when I first heard her say I love you.
Wow. Oh wow.
Yeah, adult. Like I was here. I was here.
Did she say it first, or did she say it after you said it?
No, she said it first.
Wow.
Yeah, and then, you know, they say it like I love you. Hang up the phone. Yeah, my dad. No. It's definitely acts of service for my dad.
Wow.
I would say for my mom, it's words of affirmation. She wants to hear that she's doing a good job. She wants to hear that, you know, I would say that for her. But it's funny that you say it's not until you're adult. I would have to concur with you. I don't know, that's similar to me. Like as far as my mom saying I love you was the same thing. I was an adult, and it was kind of like, and past, like, you know, like you hear it and you're like, oh, wait a minute, what? Like on the phone, you know what I'm saying? Like one of those things where you just like, did it really happen?
Yeah, because I was like, hello?
Yeah, right?
Hello?
You got dial tone at that time?
Dial tone. Hello?
So it was funny, but I want to point out what Terry said. I agree, because I do the same thing. And that was one of the main thing, I think, when I was married and pregnant, was one of the main reason why it frightened me to have kids, because of the fact that love, I knew that wasn't there, right? So with my son now, I, like you, Terry, make the conscious folks effort to make sure that, you know, it's not only by providing, but all aspect of who he is needs to be love, right? He needs to be loved emotionally. He needs to be loved physically. He needs to be loved spiritually. And that's why I think sometimes our parents, I don't want to say like they miss the mark, because I don't think like you said, if they don't know, but I feel like when you love somebody, it's not only one part, right? It's their whole psyche of, like you mentioned, Terry, of making sure like, yeah, I know you provided for me, but when I need somebody to talk to, or somebody to show up, or somebody to be there when I didn't understand something, when I wanted to talk about something, when I just wanted like a hug, like that is part of who we are as human beings. And I feel like, yeah, that part, but again, my parents, and like you said, and looking at our family, I know they didn't receive that from, I know my mom did not receive that from her parents. So she didn't know she couldn't give me what she didn't have to give.
Yeah, now my aunt, my mom's youngest sister, now my aunt, she's words of affirmation and physical touch. So she saw, just like how you two ladies said, you saw from your parents, so you want to make a conscious effort to do differently. My aunt is like that.
My aunt on my father's side, she is just, oh my God, she's hugged, she's kissed, she's words of affirmation, she's support. You know, she is everything. So, I mean, I a lot of what she is, I try to emulate because she's just, to me, I think she's just an awesome woman. Just who she is, the core of who she is, and not to say she woke up one day and she was just like this. She has always been like that. I know for my mother, hers would be receiving gifts. That would be 100% is receiving gifts. Definitely. You send her $500. Oh God. Oh Lord. Yes. Oh, you're doing good, boy, huh? I received it. I mean, she is. I'm telling you, that's what she is, and that's what she likes.
What about siblings? Like, how do you? Because we all have siblings. What does love in our siblings, family, and friends?
I think siblings for me is words of affirmation and acts of service and physical touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marty, what about you?
Go ahead if you know yours, because I'm thinking about this one.
I know definitely for my sister, it's acts of service. It is affirmation, physical touch. I think it goes in that order.
I would say, and I'm totally guessing again because for my sibling, my sister, I would say probably words of affirmation and acts of service and receiving gifts would be the love language. But again, our relationship is, again, putting all this on blast. This is my therapeutic session. But our love, I guess, is kind of like, chaotic. So I could be totally wrong with that. But again, I don't feel like we have a healthy love, and showing each other love is not healthy. I'll just say that. Again, not knowing how.
That's a brick.
Yep, that is definitely a brick.
So, our faithful followers out there, what is your love language? And what is your brick that you're carrying around? And also, how are you standing in your truth to be able to receive the love and to give the love?
Yep.
So, on that note, we are going to continue to go out there and L.O.V.E all day, every day.
Boom, shika, boom, boom.
Continue to love the ones that are around you and closest to you. Make sure you show acts of love, acts of service, words of affirmation. Don't forget the gifts too.
Ooh, and we are out.
Thank you for joining us this week on Unfiltered Limin with BLT. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and join our Facebook page. As always, subscribe to our show to catch every new episode. Leave us a review so we can continue to bring you fresh and exciting content. See you next Thursday, same time, same station. Unfiltered Limin with BLT is edited and produced by Unfiltered Limin with BLT.